The Brisbane Lions were 4 points away from winning a grand final last season. I think they can go one better this year. They're going to be right there at the end of the year. So the current $5.50 for them to win the premiership, I feel like that it's definitely overs for a team that you know is going to be there in the prelims. They're a well-balanced side, third ranked in attack. Uh, if we look here, 32 rating, and in defense, ranked fifth with a 36 rating. So well-balanced side. They have plenty of depth right across the field. They don't rely on any one position or a few key players in the line in the team to make everything happen. So they're going to go deep, and also we know they're so good at home. Over the past 5 seasons, from 2023 back to 2019, they've won 53 of 62 games at home. So they perform extremely well at the Gabba. Last year went 14-0 there. So this coming season, they have 12 of their 23 games. So slightly more than half of their total games are being played at home and also on the road. Well, a few of those games are, going to be against top sides, obviously. But we know they're going to probably win 10, 11 of those games, I would assume, looking at their schedule. And then away from home, of those other 11 games, they play Fremantle, West Coast, Gold Coast, and Adelaide. So they should definitely win at least 3, maybe even 4 of those games. So then you factor in the few other games that are definitely winnable. They're going to start favorite in likely majority of games coming up this season. I'd be surprised they don't start favorite in 18, 19, maybe 20 of their games coming up. So this year, with their season win-loss set at 15.5, I can definitely see that going over. Last year, they won 17 games. That have them on that same number for this season. And they're definitely a top 4 side. I'd be very, very surprised if they finish outside the top 4. Over the past 2 years, they've been very good at starting the season. Just definitely need to work on how they close the seasons off. So not all that strong during the mid part of the past 2 seasons compared to back in 2020 and 21. They bring that form to the mid part and also the final 7 weeks, 8 weeks of the season. They're going to be very, very hard to beat. Made finals the past 5 years, finished top 4 in 4 of those seasons, finishing 6th in 2022. Looking through some of their other numbers, they did win 3 of 4 as an underdog last season. So that's impressive on the money line. Then in night games, they've been good over the past couple of seasons as well. So all signs point to Brisbane being right up there again this season. They do have the toughest schedule, so they have the hardest schedule going into this season. But as I mentioned, 12 more than half their games are going to be played at the Gabba. They have a few easy games on the road as well, which you expect them to win. So they're not going to miss top 4 unless something drastic happens or they completely fall off from last season. Also, something interesting, they did average more points as an underdog last season compared to as a favorite. One thing I like to also look at is comparing their home to their away statistics. So here we'll just quickly look at their points scored, which was almost 20 points higher at home compared to away. And they conceded 89 away compared to 66.5 at home. So if they can push this number up to 90 or the low 90s especially, or dramatically drop this number down into the 70s, just get a 7 there instead of an 8, I feel like that's going to really improve their overall record. But regardless, I think they're going to go over the 15.5 wins for the upcoming season. They also average more points in night games compared to day games, which generally isn't the case for the majority of sides. Looking through their attacking statistics, ranks 2nd in points for, 3rd in shots at goal, 5th in accuracy, so all those numbers are really good. 3rd in inside 50s, 4th in opponent rebound inside 50. So when they get it inside 50, they convert those opportunities into scores. 2nd in marks inside 50. All really, really good numbers and all super positive from an attacking perspective. Looking at their efficiency, ranked 4th in goals per inside 50 and 2nd in scoring shots. They say top 4, top 5 in those numbers. Again, this year, they're going to be very, very hard to beat, and they are my prediction to win the premiership. Interesting, like talking about Brisbane's game style, they ranked 17th in disposals, and opponent disposals, they're ranked 4th. So they play a game style which is very, very efficient. They don't overuse the ball with a ton of, extra kicks and those kind of things, or extra handballs, I should say, because if we look here, they are ranked 2nd in kicks and 18th in handballs. So they're definitely not overusing the ball. They kind of play the structure that Hawthorn used to win the premierships. Now it's Chris Fagan coaching up in Brisbane, where it's a real kick-to-kick game as opposed to trying to play on handball over the top and thread the ball through, which also shows 16th in uncontested possession. So when they win the ball, they don't overuse it, then work it inside 50 and convert it into goals. They do have a very, very strong forward line and strong midfield. Tom Doty coming into the lineup as well, shores up their defense alongside Harris Andrews. So all signs look positive for the Brisbane Lions from a defensive perspective. Ranked 6th in points conceded. I think that number will improve. They'll move into the top 4 this season, especially considering opponents' shots on goal. They're ranked 2nd in that factor, so not giving all that many opportunities. Teams were very accurate against them, which you don't generally see, and they're ranked 1st in opponent inside 50s. Do need to do a little bit of better job of clearing the ball out. But aside from that, they're pretty good in most categories. Ranked 10th here in opponent goals per inside 50. That's largely just due to the fact of not rebounding the ball out of there. So they can improve that factor, just not give up scores when teams go inside 50. That's going to be a really ideal. They're the number 1 clearance team in the competition, number 1 in center clearances, number 2 in stoppage clearances, but that's not rely on hit outs to advantage. And then free kick differential, they did do well in this category, ranked 3rd. So were favored a touch by the umpires last season, especially compared to a few other teams down at the bottom of that list, like Richmond and Port Adelaide. So overall, looking at the Lions' upcoming season, they're very confident they finish top 4. They're $1.62, which probably there's not a ton of value in that, but I think they're definitely that'll definitely be cashing. And looking at the $5.50 for them to win the premiership, I feel like that's definitely overs because they're going to be there at preliminary final time. If they finish top 2, I think they make it to the grand final and they get that home prelim. And one thing that's going to be interesting looking at them throughout the season is just how they go away from home. If they start to pick up their away performances with their games at the MCG as well, and they start to perform there, I would get more confident about them winning the premiership this season. On this YouTube channel, I'm going to be posting previews for every single AFL team for the upcoming season, plus releasing videos on betting information, tactics, and strategies that you can use to make money betting on AFL. So make sure you subscribe and keep an eye out for those other videos.